MMA Huddle is back after a little period off due to UFC not having any fight cards on, which was weird but nice. We had to do this thing called socialising, Will, with other people outside of the bubble of MMA. I found it really weird because I couldn't hold a conversation with them. I don't know about you, but how was your time off, so to speak, brother?
It was okay. I think it was needed. It was a busy run to start the year, so having a little bit. I think 3 weeks is a bit too much. I think 2 weeks is more than enough. But once you go into the third week, like now, I'm like really antsy for a good fight card. We've got it this weekend, and we've got a run of good cards. And then I think, here being the bearer of bad news, I think we've got another 3 week break after Atlantic City, which sucks. Just sucks altogether. So yeah, but no, it's just been one of those very low key 3 weeks. I've literally not been on social media that much. I've been just kind of getting on with normal life. But we've had some news in there with Liverpool and so on. So it's actually been pretty decent. A decent wee break. I'm looking forward to getting back into the kind of stretch of looking at fights and talking about fights and watching fights again.
Exactly, and the fight card coming up this weekend, which has got you and I absolutely hyped up about, even with the last minute news. Thankfully, we've recorded this podcast at the right time of the change of bout. It was previously Tony Ferguson versus Khabib Nurmagomedov, but not anymore. Khabib is okay, believe it or not. It's Tony Ferguson who's injured this time. It's one or the other. These pairs should never, ever, 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 ever be matched up ever, ever, ever again. Or what they could do, I've got this for an idea, Will. They should match them up with opposite opponents on the same card. And then on the day of the fight, the UFC go up to the opponent guys and go, pretend you've fallen over, and then put them together in the cage. Done. Bosh. I think that should happen. It's the only way you're going to get the two of them in the cage.
It might not be a bad way of doing it, actually. I'll just don't announce the fight and then just have them show up and fight in that card and put it in there. So it's a shame, but it really is, because it is one of the best matches you've been able to put together in the last, 3-4 years. Yeah. And now it's just obviously a fight that they can't put together. Something always happens, whether they overtrain or freak accidents happen, or it's just one of those things that I don't think it's ever happened. Tiramisu, yeah. So it's a crazy situation. It's a shame, but luckily enough we got an absolute animal stepping up on 6 days notice to face a guy who's undefeated in the sport. So it's a crazy sport at times.
Yeah, it is. And that's when MMA math goes out the window. So we're going to go and hit UFC 223. But obviously, people at home, hit the subscribe button. You can see it just down there if you're watching us on YouTube. Or if you're listening on SoundCloud, iTunes. I think it's called Podcast Addict or something. Then I'm sure there's a subscribe or follow button. So please hit that. Give us a follow. And do comment below if you want to join in the conversation on anything MMA related or non. We're happy to chug in with the conversations on anything, really, because we like your interaction, people. So let's go to the very start of the UFC 223 card. It's weird to say this guy is starting the card off, because he should effectively be maybe headlining the prelim or maybe kicking off a main card. I think the promotion of this fight should be a little bit better than it is, but either way, okay, Zabit Sharapov, okay, is fighting Kyle Bochniak. So, Will, now this fight, like I said, it should be higher up in the card in my opinion, because Zabit is I see Zabit as like a 2.0 of Alex Caceres. I think the Russians saw Alex Caceres and went, oh, I like what he's doing. We're going to make a better one. And that's what I feel like. I see Zabit as a better version of him. Like, because Alex Caceres has got the makings of like a good, entertaining fighter with his kind of abstract striking, and Zabit makes it work really well, and he's got good wrestling. Like, Zabit, for a tall guy, has got surprisingly good wrestling, especially in the featherweight division. But now in this matchup, he's fighting Kyle Bochniak, who Kyle is a style for Zabit, which I think might see a bit different Zabit come into it, because Kyle doesn't stay still. Kyle is always just circling around left or right. He's not particularly switching one way more than the other, but he's constantly moving. He's constantly switching stances. So that will obviously make Zabit have to alter what he's doing. I think Zabit might have to kind of focus maybe closing him down with his footwork rather than use just striking on a lot of the opponents that Zabit has had. They're quite stationed, so to speak. You know, they're quite gloves up, let's go. They're coming forward. They're not moving laterally. They're just going straight kind of horizontal back and forth. So I think for Zabit, I think he's going to have to use a lot of be smart using this kind of ring cage, kind of close him off to keep Kyle in range to at least get a combination away. Because the thing with Kyle is he will just he'll come in and go as well. But I still see Zabit getting the win here. I just think he's a better all-round fighter. He's got a better striking. He's long. Like, he's so long. He can catch... I think he might catch Kyle, especially when Kyle's circling, with, like, those spinning kicks, those head kicks, those big, long legs that he's got. I could catch Kyle out. But one thing it will do is that wrestling that Zabit has, man. He's got really legit strong wrestling. He's got a very good thing called a knee tap. For people who don't know what a knee tap is, essentially what you'll be doing is he'll throw a strike and he'll punch his arm down to block the opponent's knee and kind of run through you. And what it does is it just makes you roll over your body. He's got lovely little trips like that. For someone his height, works perfectly for. So I think Kyle will come unstuck. I don't think it'll be a quick finish for Zabit because he'll have to get the time and the movement of Kyle first. But I'm going to go with Zabit here on this one. How do you feel this one going, Will?
Yeah, it's such a weird fight to have starting off the whole entire card. Because the way the Americans usually are, there's virtually nobody in the arenas for the first fight. And I'm thinking, how do you hype? You're putting them on the first fight of the night on the UFC Fight Pass. Nothing wrong with that. But this guy's, I think, a future star of the division. And I think he's within this calendar year, he's going to be in that top 10 of the division, depending on the matchups. And they've picked a guy who's coming off a UFC win, something that Zabit has never really faced before. He's faced two newcomers in his first two fights in the UFC, but he's impressive. When you watch him, you can see he's got everything there. It reminds me, he's like Brian Ortega. You knew he was good. Like, I've been slow on Brian Ortega, completely off the train. Sometimes I spot fights like Cody Garbrandt, I was like, he's got something. Brian Ortega, I'm still thinking, like, how the hell did he knock out Frank Edgar when the guy's predominantly a jiu-jitsu guy, but the guy's obviously got lethal striking. It reminds me of like a Cody Garbrandt that's coming through, and he's gonna cause a lot of problems for a lot of people in that division. Like you were saying, he's got big frame, big reach, just a big dude for the division, but he's got striking, he has jiu-jitsu, and he's Russian, so he's going to have wrestling and grappling to play with there. So it's like, and he's shown it as well. The first fight he was really just showing off the flashy striking. The second fight, Shimon Moraes, I think is a really good fighter, and he stole them. It was Moraes showed that he was capable of giving him a fight, but Zabit was just another level the whole entire fight. And he's grappling, him hanging on Shimon Moraes was just high on him. And then Mark Henry says, look, we need a finish. I think it was the last minute of the fight, goes out there and gets a finish as well. So if you're picking Kyle Bochniak here, I think you're a crazy person, because I think that he's going to try and hit and move, but I think Zabit is going to, if you watch his fights, he cuts off the cage really well, and his frame's just too big, you're not going to get away from him. No. And even if you're pushing back, he's got those big massive long limbs, he can spin and back kicks the lot. I think he'll start to run a little bit in the early rounds. I think he'll start to tire. I don't think he can do that for 15 minutes. And Zabit's going to catch him with something and finish him, whether it be on the ground, whether it be on the feet. I think he should be in the televised prelim somewhere at least. But Zabit for the win here.
And next up, light heavyweight action. Okay, Devin Clark is fighting Mike Rodriguez. So, how do you see this one go down, bro?
Yeah, it's weird, like, with the amount of good fights we've got in this card, like, when I'm looking at fights, I'm like, right, I'm going to go watch that one first. The very first fights I watched for this card was Devin Clark and Mike Rodriguez. I'm like, I don't know how I managed to do that with Tony and Khabib that we had up the top before. I'm sure lots of people are just having a look at that.
I start the bottom work up.
Yeah,
I do it. Yeah.
I kind of go random sometimes. I go one from the Fight Pass, one from the main card, and then I'll just deviate a little bit. But this was the first one I came across for the simple reason like, who's Mike Rodriguez again? And I totally forgot he was on the Dana White show.
Is it Dana White? Yeah.
Yeah, and I knew Devin Clark obviously is coming off that loss to Jan Blachowicz over there in Poland, where I thought he fought a pretty silly fight, in my opinion. I don't think he fought. I thought he showed a lot of bad fight IQ in that one, and never really. He had one game plan, never mixed up, and stayed in that one game plan, and it cost him in the end, pretty much. Mike Rodriguez is I think he's got some pretty bad takedown defense, which I think that Devin Clark's going to want to capitalise on, because that's what he usually tries and does, is hold against the cage, frame off, look for takedowns. I think he can get takedowns in Mike Rodriguez, and I think he can keep him there. But Mike Rodriguez, I think, is a big dude. He's got a big reach, and he's athletic. Really, I think he's got a big sudden power that he can hit you. Knee. Have you seen the one outside?
Outside, yeah.
The one outside is.
Was it LF? No, wasn't it? It was.
Yes.
Mike Chappelle and Pat Miletich commentating on it. CS.
Yes, I think it was. And that knockout was nasty. That guy was out.
I was.
So yeah, it's a guy that you've. He's got a lot of power and a lot of athletic ability. I think he can sprawl well, and we have seen him taken down in reverse position. I think that was more the guy getting tired more than technique, personally. But I think Devin Clark will get takedowns, but I think at some point he's going to get caught with something. I think Rodriguez will take him out. So I'm going to go Mike Rodriguez, TKO.
See, I was watching the footage back on both parties, and like you say, Devin Clark was he surprising for a light heavyweight. He's got good conditioning. Like that, he can strike and grapple for 15 minutes at a pretty good tempo. He's got a good gas tank. In that Jake Collier fight, he showed that the pair of them were just swinging at each other the whole time, and the grappling as well. So I think Devin, like you say, he can get Mike down, and he could I don't know what Mike can do when he's got someone pinning him and constantly going at him with that higher conditioning, that higher level of like constantly grappling him. So I am curious to see how Mike handles that. Obviously, he's probably been working in the background with his takedown defense. Being a tall guy, he's probably susceptible to that takedown defense if he can control the cage a bit more, get his stance where he can widen his legs a lot more. If he gets on the cage, it'll make it a lot harder for Devin, where Devin will have to switch from a double to a single, but we'll see how he does with that. But I do feel, though, that Mike Rodriguez, he'll probably know that Devin wants to shoot in, and that flying knee that he's done twice, you do it once, you can get away with it, but you do it twice, it's something that you've probably done a few times, you've drilled it a lot, and it's something you feel confident in. I don't see any reason why see Mike do this again. You know, I feel that he could easily do something like that. He's got that explosive power. Devin Clark charges in for that takedown. I would not be shocked if Mike Rodriguez stops Devin Clark because of that movement, like that thrust and that impact. So I'm going to go with Mike only because he's got that, like you say, that powerful kind of explosive knockout power, which just catches a lot of people out. And I think that, like you say, Devin Clark's fight IQ isn't quite there yet, but it's not far off, because he can be really, he's got potential to be really good. I like the look of Devin Clark. But light heavyweight division, both of them are young, so let's just take him slow anyway. You know, I like to see these guys get a bit of time to develop. And next up, bro, women flyweight division. Beck Rawlins, Ashley Evans-Smith. Right, so I didn't watch much footage on this one, because I kind of know how the pair of them fight. So you got Beck Rawlins, who's a standard 500 fighter. Nothing special about her. She shouts a lot when she punches. Does that help? I think, I don't know. I don't know. I know she's been training at Alliance over time, and I just can't see anything about Beck Rawlins that excites me. Then she's fighting Ashley Evans-Smith, so then I kind of think, again, another fighter who has not done much to impress me in either way either. You know, the pair of them are inked girls and like their rock and roll and all that stuff and metal, and maybe they just will, I don't know, tough it out against each other, and that's what I feel we might get in this fight. I think we might see a 3-round fight where they're both not going to be great at grappling, so there might be a stand-up fight where the pair of them just punch each other, but I don't think you'll see a great battle. I don't think you'll see a lot of great technical stuff going down. A couple of scrambles, but I think essentially what we'll see is probably Beck Rawlins with a decision on this one. I think she probably got just a slightly better boxing than Ashley Evans Smith because she's got the better the jab and straight. If Beck Rawlins can just do that for 3 rounds, get a win, I think that's maybe what we'll see. But if I'm brutally honest, that will be about the time I'll make a hot drink and pop the kettle on, and I don't think I'll be missing much. I don't think anyone's going to miss much in this fight. How do you see it, Will?
I'm going the other way. I'm going Ashley Evans Smith. Like, Beck Rawlins is... How is she sticking around in the UFC? I don't know why. She's like 7-7.
Yeah.
Like, why? I know she's moving up to... or she's still fighting in the flyweight division. She's still new there, and it's not really an established division, but you don't really need her. This guy... Like, why? How is she in the UFC and Molly McCann's? No, it's like, it makes no sense. No. She's taking up spots that other fighters should be taking and participating in the UFC, so it makes no sense to me. I think she's terrible. I think she's a terrible fighter. But I don't think Ashley Evans Smith is overly that much better either. So, but she has a skill set, I think, that can hurt Beck Rawlins. I think Beck has the advantage on the feet. I think Ashley has the advantage with the grappling. But I do think she lacks fight IQ. Ashley, and it showed in the last fight against Morris, get in there and then got submitted. And she didn't need to go in there either. We've seen that once Sarah Morris gets through round 1, she gasses badly, and then she's not really a threat that much. I think that I took quite a bit from the Jessica Rose Clark fight to the simple fact that she was bigger than Beck. Ashley is going to be bigger than Beck. She's coming down from 135, so she's going to be the bigger girl. I think if she can put her on her back, she can stop Beck Rawlins. I think she's got some good ground and pound, but I just think she's got a lot of composure on in the top position. I think she can control her there. So maybe a late TKO, but I'm going to go a decision for Ashley Evans Smith.
I will say nothing more about that fight. Okay, so featherweight fight next up. Alex Caceres, like I mentioned before, he's the 1.0 version, fighting Artem Lobov. I think this is a more suitable fight for Artem Lobov, and I'll let you take this away.
Yeah, initially when I heard the fight, I was like, oh, it might be a little bit tough, and then I went back and watched Alex fights. I'm like, Alex gives you opportunities to hit him, and Artem can hit people, and when he does hit people, he most of the time he hurts them. Maybe not so much recently, but I think he's made himself a steady fight in the UFC. I don't think he's ever going to be one of these guys that puts a 5-fight win streak together. I think he's literally fighting for his job here as well. But the 2 guys he's lost to are decent. Feely and Swanson are decent guys. But I think this is a very winnable fight. I think that Caceres will want to initiate the brawl, and Artem Lobov will just say, thank you very much, I'll stand here for the next 15 minutes and we'll throw fists, and we'll see who's still here at the end of the 15 minutes, because I guarantee that he will probably throw more than what Alex Caceres will. I just think that Caceres, I think he's got an advantage if it goes to the ground, but I don't think he's going to take it down there. I just don't think he's got the fight IQ to do that. I think he's been around the UFC a long time, Alex Caceres, and he's won.
Yeah.
I think majority of his fights has been in the UFC as well. So I just think this is a really good fight for Artem to keep his job and get himself another fight in the UFC at least. I just think it's going to be a little bit of a stand-up affair, and I'll favour the guy who's hard to knock out and throws heavy leather, and that's going to be Artem Lobov for me.
Yeah, I'm the same. I can't see Alex Caceres doing anything other than being himself, and that's, like you say, he throws these strikes, but the problem is he stays in that pocket too long for you to counter before he backs out again, and it's something that always infuriated me. I thought, you throw the interesting combinations which do land, he'll land a shot or two. He's not the power guy, he's not going to hit you once and put you out of sleep. He hits you with the numbers, he's more of a numbers man, but the thing is, the numbers that he's throwing, he keeps himself in there to get one back, and he's not mathematically, he doesn't do that he's not doing the right thing. With Artem will just stand and wait. He'll do this and just walk around and just wait, and then pop, power, and that's all Artem will do. Artem won't care, he'll just pop, he'll go straight hook, and that'll be him, happy days, and that's all he'll do. He will happily do that. Like with Ishihara in Belfast, woeful. It was a woeful fight, but he was waiting essentially for Ishihara just to come in for that we thought Ishii would just want to swing for him, and that's all he was hoping for. Come in, and he'll crack your back. And that's what I see here. I just see Artem patiently just picking off. So you'll see Alex Caceres will land a couple, but they won't be power shots, and I think Artem will know that, and he'll just black Caceres. I wouldn't be shocked if it was a decision win for Artem Lobov. Just patiently just picking away at him. So yeah, I see if decision win, Artem Lobov keeps his job. Who knows? Caceres might get cut. What else can you do with Caceres? Just put him in random fights. What's the point? Get him out, get someone else in who's at 145 who could fill that spot. There's lots of guys out there. Andre Harrison, is he 145? I think he is. Do you know what I'm saying? Just put it out there. But yeah, that's that fight. Next fight, quite interested in this one. Evan Dunham against Olivier Aubin-Mercier. Because when I watched the footage back, damn, I am super, super interested to see if Aubin-Mercier can take down Evan Dunham. Evan Dunham's got great conditioning, can go 3 rounds, he can get cracked, he can get hit hard, and he will keep coming at you. Aubin-Mercier is strong as an ox, he's got good grappling, his striking has been growing. Over the past few fights, you've definitely seen he started to develop a confidence to go out there, put combinations together, and not just initially look for a takedown, but just constantly want to kind of evolve himself as a martial artist and stop people always assuming he's going to go for the takedown. But Evan Dunham's doing well Evan Dunham can stand on the feet and bang, and he will look to outlast you and outlast you till that 3rd round, and then he can keep going and keep pouring it on. So it's a hard one, this, because I just feel that Evan Dunham could get Aubin-Mercier down just as much as Mercier can get Evan Dunham down. So I feel you might see a clash of grappling here. It might be a battle of the underhooks. It might be a battle on the cage where one switches one over and they keep turning it around and it breaks and then they go for a couple of strikes. I'm going to go with Evan Dunham on more of a kind of fight IQ veteran, being there a bit more, so to speak. It's a hard one to call. It's such a hard one. But I'm going to go with Evan Dunham because I feel like he's just got a little bit more knowledge and experience on how to win a decision and know what to do to get that win than maybe Mercier has. Yeah, it's a hard one though. But how do you see this one going?
It's a tough fight. But the thing is, what I really like with Evan Dunham, I think he's a smart fighter.
Yeah.
I think he fights the game. I think he fights the game plan really well, and you don't know what you're going to get from him either. Because I thought, I'll take an example when he fought in Glasgow against Ross Pearson. I thought he was going to stand and bang with Ross Pearson, but he went to he thought about it. How can I beat this guy? And he easily took down Ross Pearson 5 or 6 times. He took him down, and it's clearly a unanimous decision if you were going to see. And like you see, the guy, he is really tough to take down. The guy very rarely gets taken down. I think the only guy I can remember off the top of my head was Cowboy, and Cowboy submitted him in that 2nd round. And he takes down people. Dunham took down Joe Lozon, he took down Pearson, he took down Rick Glenn, he took down Dariush as well. So he's taken down some fairly decent guys. On the feet, I think that, like you said, OEM is definitely making improvements. He's got heavy kicks, heavy low kicks especially, that really shone out to me. On the ground, I just think that Dunham is going to be just very smart where he puts his position on the ground and just be the dominant fighter in those positions. Extremely durable. I mean, Dariush was lighting him up at points of that fight, but he came into that fight as the fight went on. So for a guy who's been around for as long as Evan Dunham has, being as durable as he is, and being I actually think he's a really smart fighter. He sticks to the game plan very well. I like Mercier as well. I just think this is going to be close. First round's a big defining factor for me. If Mercier can get off to a quick start, get that first round, I think he's got a chance to win a decision. I'm going to go Evan Dunham via 29-28 split decision. I think it's going to be really close, super close. But I'm going to go with the experience and just the overall kind of game of Evan Dunham. Solid fighter, very underestimated fighter.
Oh, huge, yeah. Not a lot of people that really want to fight him because he could actually ruin your record because he's just that smart kind of guy. Next up, we have interesting bout, Joe Lozon, kind of the legend is Joe Lozon, fighting Chris Gertzmacher. Now, random fight name you'd hear, wouldn't you? You wouldn't expect someone of a kind of stature fighting Chris Gertzbacher. So how do you look at this fight and how do you see it going? I see it going a particular way, but how do you go?
Joe Lozon I think he's a legend personally, just for the amount of time he's been around, the fights he's put on, the bonus money that he has won, and the shocks that he has pulled out sometimes. And he's 27 and 14. He's got a little bit of a, but the losses are not bad losses. Nothing named guys. There's no, when you look at his record, there's like Clay Guida, and there's Iaquinta, there's Evan Dunham, Michael Johnson, Jim Miller, Anthony Pettis. They're not bad losses on his record.
No.
But I think he's on the decline. Well, I think he's at the later stage of his career. I still think he has tools that can win him fights, but if he doesn't get you in the first 5 to 7 minutes, you can take him out. He had Stevie Ray in the ropes, he could have taken him out. Stevie came on big in that fight and won the fight. Like I was saying, the Diego Sanchez fight comes out big, knocks him out. Now Diego's chin has disappeared.
Yeah.
Talking about his last fight, he got knocked out by Clay Guida in the first round. Clay Guida doesn't knock out anybody. Now Chris Grutzmarker, I think, is very low level. This is his, you look at Joe's last 3 wins. Marcin Held, not in the UFC anymore.
No.
He lost that fight. He even said himself he lost that fight. Diego Sanchez is the ghost of Diego Sanchez. Takanori Gomi is the ghost of Takanori Gomi. And then the Michael Chiesa one, he was losing that fight, I think, before the cut. The doctor stopped the fight. So you're maybe looking back 4 years since his last legit win over Matt Danzig. That's disrespecting him a little bit, because he went out there and he knocked out Diego Sanchez, and he went out there and beat Takanori Gomi. But Grutzmarker, I think, I don't think there's anything good about him, but I think he's tough, and he's going to stick around. And if he gets through that tough 5 minutes, I think he can stop Joe Lozon. So I'm going to go with the underdog play on Chris Grutzmarker to win the fight, and just winning. Maybe I think he could stop Joe Lozon as well, which is crazy, because he really doesn't have much finishing ability. I don't think Chris Grutzmarker. So I'm going to go Grutzmarker via stoppage.
I'm with you. He doesn't have that much about him. He's nothing. I'll go with you in a sense of, like, on a skill set, there's nothing there that stands out. I think that he does kind of come into striking range, kind of just standing, hands bobbing, wanting to throw down. I don't like it. For Joe Lozon, he could, like you say, he could take him out in the first. He could take Chris out in the first round, but Chris is quite durable. I think Joe Lozon needs to do a smart thing, get him down. First round, don't bother standing, get him down ASAP. As soon as you get Chris down, I could legitimately see Lozon tap him in 5 minutes, easy. Joe Lozon is another level when it comes to grappling. Another level. He's a monster when it comes to grappling. And I truly believe that I'm going to go wild with the first round submission, Joe Lozon. I'm going to go for it. I just think if you're Joe Lozon, you should know your strengths. And his strength in a fight like this is on the ground. Get Chris down. At least you're going to tire Chris in the first round if you don't finish him. At least gas him down, get him a bit tired. So I'm going to go with, I'll go with Joe Lozon with his skill set of the grappling. His chin isn't what it was. It's not worth being silly. He should know himself that his chin's not the chin it was. He should know what to do. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. That's my decision on that fight. But again, Joe Lozon will probably be silly and not do that and mess up his record, so to speak. But next up we have a cracking flyweight fight, though. Woo, I love flyweight, though. Ray Borg against Brendan Moreno. Woo. Man, this is going to be a good fight. Like, Ray Borg lost to Demetrius Johnson, but let's be honest. If you have a loss to Demetrius Johnson, it's not really a loss. It's kind of like a given. It's like a free pass. It's like, don't worry about it. He doesn't count. He's a freak. He's a freak of nature, DJ. Everyone else is on your records legit. That one's just not. That doesn't count. That's not fair. It's like fighting a warlord, like a Greek god. Do you know what I mean? That's not fair. You're fighting Zeus or something. That's cheating. Everyone else, though, that's all right. But But like you got Ray Borg's got very good skill set. Obviously got himself to the title fight, which is he's proven himself as to why. But he's fighting a guy in Brendan Moreno who's wild, cocky, brash, and Brendan Moreno will, I think, lose this fight. And the reason why I think he'll lose this fight, I think that he's got that kind of grit and he will go for it and he will stand. But Ray Borg I think he will wear Brendan Moreno out in 3 rounds with that sheer power grappling that Ray Borg has. He has legit power. He's got good power in his hands, Ray Borg, don't get me wrong, and he's got good movement. But I think he'll just ragdoll Moreno. I think you'll see Ray Borg use his skill set to his advantage, get him down, pin him against the cage, and just stifle Moreno. So not letting him out of that space, not letting him in the middle of the ring so he can maybe scramble or go for submissions. I think he's going to just smush him, keep him against the cage, get him down, and just keep it tight and just nullify what Moreno needs, which is space, a little bit of space, be a bit wild, throw those kind of, because he's not standing with his hands, he kind of lets him come down a little bit, and he'll throw the weird angle punches to catch people out. He's a bit kind of dorky in a way with that. It kind of throws people off. I think that might catch Ray Borg out, but it won't knock Ray Borg. It won't knock him out. I think you'll see Ray Borg just 3 minutes of just relentless power and just aggression on Moreno, which he won't be able to handle. That's what I've seen coming down. I feel a decision win for Ray Borg. Don't me to be quiet. Do you need me to stop moving?
No. I'm just the baby's come in, so I'm moving out. So, so yeah, little Bambino's in our bed now. So I was in the bedroom out the road.
Fair enough. Tag team.
Okay.
How do you? Have you got light? Can you put the light on or not? Or
yeah, shit. Let me see. Bad light. Ah, there we go.
Ah, beautiful.
There
so,
we go.
How do you see that flyweight battle going then, bro?
There we go. Apologies about that, guys. But better get there because I was shouting too loudly. So, Brandon, Moreno and Borgs, I think it's a solid matchup, but I think it's I think a guy's very, very skilled in that one area, and like you said, I think he's going to ragdoll him. I think that Ray Borg, he gets takedowns pretty easily. I think he even took down DJ a couple of times, so he's got skills there. I think, like you were saying with Moreno, I think he might accept the takedowns and try and work off his back, and I don't think that's going to work against someone like Ray Borg, who's faced obviously DJ, Formiga, who I think they were on the ground for a little second, and Formiga's a legit guy down there as well. He gets takedowns, he gets passes, and like I think that Moreno can get taken down and he can get past, like the Dustin Ortiz fight now. In saying that, he came out the second round and he put Dustin Ortiz down with a massive head kick. So I like Moreno a lot as a fighter. I just think this is a bad stylistic matchup for him. But like we've seen in the Smoker fight, like he's got a really nasty squeeze. So you have to be careful with guys like that. But I just think, for me, Ray Borg is going to be the far better skill set fighter. I think this will be a big learning fight for Brendan Moreno.
Yeah, I agree. Next up is the prelim headline event. I actually quite looking forward to this fight, if I'm honest with you. Karolina Kowalkiewicz against Felice Herrig. It's a heck of a strawweight bout. Will, break it down.
I've never been on the Felice Herrig kind of bandwagon at all. Never. I don't like a fighter. People seem to think she's an absolute goddess, which nah. She doesn't do it for me. I don't think she's the worst thing we were going to see in the world, but she just does nothing for me. So, but what I do like about her game is like she's kind of evolved a little bit, and she's got that confidence, and she's shown it off really well in her last few fights, and I've been impressed by her. I thought her last fight was one of those fights where she could have lost. Maybe back in the day she might actually lost a fight like that, but she showed a lot of heart and came through it and won that split decision over Courtney Casey. Striking decent, but she needs to get this to the ground because she's not going to fuck around with Karolina on the feet. Personally, I think Karolina's too quick, too many combinations, and she will get beat up. Not unless she gets in the clinch and maybe uses some big knees and stuff like that. But I think if she ever does get in the clinch, she's going to be using that to get takedowns. But I think Karolina, coming off that loss, where she got pretty much destroyed by Claudia Gadelha. So she's going to want to prove that she's still a staple at the top of that division, where Felice has to make that jump into that elite class at 115. So for me, I just think Karolina's going to stop takedowns, and I think she's going to beat that ass on the feet. Maybe early on it might be a bit close, but I think she's got a pace that keeps really well in 2 and 3. She's went 5 rounds and did that, and looked decent in late rounds as well. So for me, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, I think she's going to run away with this 30-27.
Yeah, Karolina's got lovely conditioning. She can literally, like you say, she could, if you went 5 rounds standing with her, she will have an output that will just tire her out. She will wear people down with striking. I've been super impressed with Felice though, and I mean, when she was in the Ultimate Fighter and she came out of there, she just wasn't the kind of fighter before Tough. She was a legit top contender in the world, legit. She proved herself all around, competing on all the regional scenes, all that jazz. She earned her stripes. I was quite big up on Felice coming into after Tough. Like in Tough, I don't take much note on how people perform, how well they fight. I take more note afterwards, because I think it's not the same. You're not with your coaches, you're not with your teammates. It's a different scenario. Your psychological battle, all that jazz. I don't really take much. But she did have like a period after that where she was on a really downward slide, and I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it was a confidence thing, if it was a mental aspect, if it was stuff going outside the cage that was affecting her. She was not performing anywhere near she did outside. Similar to with Joanne Calderwood, where Joanne Calderwood was kicking ass and cashing checks, and then she came into UFC and we were like, who the hell's that? It's not the same person. Felice somehow turned the corner, and she's done really well, really, really well. She's putting a lot of stuff together, come out with some performances. Underdog, she kept coming out as underdog, and I kept betting against her in a way. You know, I was writing her off, and she's just writing everyone off. But I don't see her getting into that elite. I just don't see enough development for her to get into that Claudia Gadelha, Jessica Andrade, Rose Namajunas, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, kind of even Karolina Kowalkiewicz level. You know, I just don't feel she's there, and I don't think she can get there either. I think there is a flaw to her limit, and I think we might see it here. I think Karolina Kowalkiewicz could stop Felice getting her down. I want Karolina to be a bit more. My only thing about her is a bit more urgency. If she does get taken down, to get up, I want her to be a bit more. But if Karolina can just keep it boxing, just needs to box with Felice. Doesn't need to kick that much. Just keep it boxing. She could box the socks off her for 3 rounds. So I go probably decision win. Again, Karolina Kowalkiewicz coming back with that sniper-esque suicide kind of psychotic kind of smile that she has, and getting the win. Next up in the lightweight division, not only can this man knock people out, he can sell you a house. Iaquinta is taking on Paul Felder. We know what's going to happen. It's going to be a stand-up fight. These two dudes are going to go at it, but I think Paul Felder's a more elite striker than Iaquinta. I think Iaquinta's a very good striker. He's a psycho as well with his eyes, as we know when we met him and had pictures with him. But Paul Felder's just, everything's clicking at the moment for him. It just feels like he's getting that nice little run back, getting a good curve. Iaquinta, I don't know where he is up here with the fight game. He has almost like a Twitter battle with the UFC on what they don't give and what they haven't done and what they don't support with. Obviously, he's got this other job that he's doing, this other career, this real estate he keeps pumping out, pushing out. I worry that maybe, I'm sure he's obviously, he's trained, he's signed a contract, he's putting all the effort in. I just think Paul Felder's deep. Paul Felder's he's in great condition, great shape. Obviously with Duke Rufus and all the boys there, it's a different level of power. I think Paul Felder's just got this nasty power to him. I'll probably go Paul Felder with the win here, and I think he could stop Iaquinta. I'm going the other way. I like Al in this fight. I don't know. I think I want to see more of Iaquinta, because I do think he's a legit talent, and I think that he can offer a lot to the UFC in certain spots. What I want to see from Al in this fight is I want him to go back to the old Al before he's really fell in love with his hands. He can wrestle.
And I think he needs to try and use that early on against Ryan Couture and Piotr Holman. I think it was Manchester actually. He looked for takedowns in that fight, but he did throw a lot of strikes as well. The one thing that with Paul Felder, now Paul Felder's on a little bit of a good run at the minute. He's going into guys' backyards and he's beating them. And I mean, he beat Stevie Ray, came in there with a beautiful clinch. Stevie was trying to clinch with him, and Paul Felder just kind of really kept his control and just waiting for that one opportunity to throw that big knee up the middle. And then once he got him from there, he absolutely obliterated Stevie with elbows, and like he's got some nasty ground and pound. Then in the Charles Oliveira fight, I thought Oliveira was doing really well actually on the feet. And then the one thing I really didn't like from Paul Felder in that fight, now it really doesn't matter because the guy actually went on and stopped him via on the ground. So but he stayed in that guard for a long time, and he gave opportunities to a guy you don't want to give opportunities to. That, in my opinion, is bad fight IQ, because you've got an advantage on the feet. Use that advantage. And saying that, he went on and knocked the guy senseless in the second round. So who am I to say what he should and shouldn't be doing? He's maybe getting a lot more comfortable being on the floor with these guys, and he's trying to show off that he is comfortable down here, he can stay down there, and he can stop people down there. Like I say, on the feet, I think that Al needs to... I mean, his last win was against Diego Sanchez. I've already spoke about Diego. It's the ghost of Diego at this point. His chin was gone. I think Joe Lozon took his chin, and Iaquinta just knocked it miles away from his face. So I've just got a funny feeling it's going to be close. I think that Paul does have an advantage. I think with leg kicks. I don't think Iaquinta reacts that well to leg kicks personally, so he needs to use that to his advantage. Love the Paul Felder we're seeing at a Rufus spot. It's just the perfect place for him. Someone like Duke Rufus, who is striking orientated, is just the perfect guy for this guy to have. I mean, most of his family was in Glasgow as well, weren't they? They were really solid people.
Awesome group of people. Philly crowd.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm going to pick Al. I'd love to see a Paul win it, honestly, but I think I just got a funny feeling Al's going to squeak it 29-28. Split.
Right. Okay, split. Nice. Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be interesting. And next up, we have a fascinating fight. Absolutely fascinating. Michael Chiesa against Anthony Pettis. Now, I know Pettis is your boy, and I'm hoping you're being on the fence and not biased. Let's hear what you got to say on this.
Right. So initially, I think with every Anthony Pettis fight, I'm thinking, oh, Anthony Pettis, I'm going to pick him. But like I say, I don't always pick Anthony Pettis. I am a massive fan of the Pettis brothers, and I have been for so long. But I picked Dustin Poirier against him, and I'm going to pick Michael Chiesa here as well. Initially, actually, for the longest time, I was on Anthony Pettis. I thought this is a good matchup against Michael Chiesa, because I'm thinking he's got the clear advantage on the feet if he decides to use it. If the old Anthony shows up and it's dynamic, which I don't think he is anymore, I think that's kind of disappeared a little bit. But I think Anthony Pettis at this point in his career, I think, is a little bit of a broken fighter. And that sucks for me to say. I don't like saying that, but I think it's the truth. I think if you can land a clean shot on him, you drain his confidence and you can hurt him. And like Dustin Poirier put a beating on him. He really did. He put an absolute beating on him. But I'm thinking Michael Chiesa, I think what he needs to do in this fight, he needs to get to the ground. And I don't think Pettis is an easy guy to get to the ground. I think that he's going to have to back him up. And I think he needs to back him up and try and get him takedowns from there. Well, saying that, Pettis is, if he's placed long enough, you can get him down. Eddie Alvarez did that in their fight. He usually gets back to his feet. The one thing with Chiesa here that he kind of reminds me of the Beat is a big guy, big frame, that he can frame off, and if he puts your weight on you, he's probably going to get you down, like the Dariush fight, where he just hung on his back, and that's a lot of weight, and eventually found that. Pettis, in my opinion, needs to hit, move, stay active, and stay on his feet and move, and just pepper him with leg kicks, and try and not get caught in clinch positions where Chiesa might pull guard, or he might do this, or he might do that. I just think eventually Chiesa's going to pose his will where he's going to get onto his back, and I think he's going to submit Anthony Pettis late in that fight. That's the way I see the fight going. Hopefully, I'm completely talking out my arse here, and Pettis comes out and throws a leg up and knocks him out. But looking closely at the fight, I think that Chiesa's going to want to prove something after that Kevin Lee fight, which was a murky finish. And he got submitted in that one, which is a little bit... I didn't see that coming. I didn't think Kevin Lee would submit him, especially in the first round, even though it was a weird finish. I'm going to pick Michael Chiesa via third round submission via rear naked choke.
I think Pettis is easy to get down. I think people just don't put the effort in. Like, best way to put it is, we haven't seen Anthony Pettis turn up since he got mauled by RDA.
Yeah.
I think that ghost haunts him in a way that he doesn't understand. I think he's just nowhere near the same guy we've watched before. And I'm just thinking, I wouldn't mind Anthony Pettis taking a little bit longer off, just to go and sort his mental game out, maybe look at stuff, have an honest, brutal opinion, etc., and just, you know, almost start back from the bottom and come back, you know, sort it all out. There's nothing to say that he hasn't done that. There's nothing to say that he's not coming into this fight and he's going to do what he did in the past, like you said, and he could pick Chiesa off with those beautiful strikes, technically catch him out, get those head kick snaps, get all that in. Could do anything. We don't know. But I feel like Chiesa, he's just a rough, rugged version of a fighter that is not the style that Pettis likes. He's the kind... Chiesa likes to be here. Chiesa's not a distance guy. Chiesa's not going to stand like on the outside and just jab and jab. He's going to be right in front of Pettis. Pettis does not handle pressure that well at all. He just doesn't like people getting in here. He likes you to stay out of the way so he can take his time to place his shots. I can see Chiesa get him down. I can see Pettis. I could see Pettis submit Michael Chiesa. There's nothing saying he couldn't. He's a ninja. Pettis says on his back, given the space. If you're not stifling him, but I just feel Chiesa might have it here, and I hate to say it as well because I want Pettis to get a win, to get back in that confidence, come back up again. But I think even if Pettis would lose this, he'd still have another fight in the UFC. But yeah, I'll go with Chiesa. But I feel like Pettis needs to still address a lot of things, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think more what I was saying regarding him not easy to get down. I think what I'm saying is getting him down and keeping him down. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Because when you look at some of these fights, Eddie Alvarez did get him down, Max Holloway got him down, Jim Miller got him down. I think Poirier got him down 4 or 5 times. So he is easy to get down. I think what I was trying to say was he's not easy to keep there.
Yeah.
Someone like someone like Michael Chiesa, big rugged guy. I think he could keep him there.
Yeah, especially those long limbs, he could reach to get that arm for the posture and stuff like that. Yeah. So it makes it really awkward to get up when you've got guys like that. I hate it when I'm rolling with guys who are long.
He's only 30 years old as well, so he's still got an opportunity to come through again. So
that's why I think he could take like a year away if he really needed to take a year away. You know, go like have a full 3 months off. Absolutely, now live, be a human being, then have a 3 months reality check, address things, mental aspects, and then 6 months of just beating your ass in the training, you know, doing the things you suck at, and then getting yourself back in there. Somebody got loads of time to do, loads, and I think that's something he should potentially think about doing. But obviously, we don't know. He could win this win. He can go in this weekend and knock out Chiesa with one head kick in the first 10 seconds.
So. Yeah, really
exactly. We don't know. It could easily happen. There's nothing to say that wouldn't happen. Next up is a fight that, like you said, Will, on Twitter, it's a fight that no one's really talking about, no one's really even mentioning. It's not even on the social media aspect, but it's a matchup that's going to be rather ruddy exciting, I think, and the reason why it's on the main card. Renato Moicano, I think that's maybe say I'm not sure, against Calvin Kattar, or Qatar. Now this fight here, Calvin is shot up rather ruddy fast, and for good reason. He's performed bloody ruddy well as well. Alright, Calvin is ferocious, aggressive. He's got perfect kind of he uses his physical abilities to what they should be. Like he's not a tight fighter. He's a long guy. He's got the perfect kind of aggression, the great technique he uses the right strikes for the right body. A lot of guys, it's weird, but even at this high level, people don't use the right strikes for the right body. He does. He's fighting a guy in Renato who, in that Brian Ortega fight, was winning. It's the best way to put it. He was winning the fight. And he blew it by going for a takedown, which he did not need to. He could have kept standing. For some reason, he went for the takedown and got caught. Anyway, obviously, Renato, he's still got a lot in him. I think he could have a great fight here. I think this could be, like you say, it could be a fight of the night. I think these guys could knock 7 bells out of each other. And I think we might see a good, absolute cracking war between the two of them. And I've got to be honest, I'm going to go with Calvin. There's just something about this kid. He's just catching this absolute wave. And I don't know what it is. I think dude's just got confidence. It's just beyond belief. And he's just kicking ass, the best way to put it, my friend. I think Renato's a great fighter. I think he's a great addition to the featherweight. You know, he's honestly, he's going to have some absolute great fights in the UFC, and I think this is one of them this weekend. But I don't know what it is. This Calvin kid's just, he's on fire.
Yeah, I think before we had the unfortunate thing with the main event, this is the fight I'm looking forward to the most. It is a really good stylistic matchup with two guys who are very underrated, but two guys I think are going to be, I think they could be in title contention within the next year. I think whoever wins this is going to be there in and around it, especially if Calvin wins. He's come in, he's looked impressive. When I start off watching this, I watched Calvin first actually.
Yeah.
And I think I've said this a few times before. Before he went to UFC, he had a 16-2 record. I'm like, this guy's fought a lot of guys that aren't that good, and I'm not overly that high on. And then he came in and he really just Andre Fili a lesson in precision, confident striking, and just pieced him up the entire fight. And then against Sugar Shane Burgos, I loved that fight. I think that his striking defense is incredible. I did think he did get hit with a lot of body shots, so he's maybe open to shots like that. And Moicano throws a heavy body kick, but his striking is so accurate. He throws the jab out there.
Yeah.
Like some fighters just throw it out there just for a rangefinder. He throws it out there with a purpose, and it really he lands a lot of strikes with that jab, and it sets up his combinations really well.
Yes.
I think he's a really good combination striker as well. I think his combos are really solid. Really good head movement, but he does get hit a little bit. He did get hit by Shane Burgos, but Burgos is a good striker himself.
He's a good striker as well.
But he was popping the head of Shane Burgos back a lot. He put a beating on him, and then that finish in the third round. Oh my goodness! The first shot when he hits him with overhand right, follows up with an uppercut. Burgos kind of comes forward and he absolutely unloads. He moves backwards, and then he catches him with another huge uppercut and knocks him out. So I've changed my mind pretty rapidly. I thought maybe the Fili one is like, I maybe caught Fili at a bad time, or maybe they underestimated him. No, he was just a better fighter than Andre Fili. Plain and simple, he's a better fighter than Andre Fili. Moicano, like I totally agree, he was winning that Ortega fight and made a horrific decision of trying to take him down with 2 minutes to go. Now, in the second round, he took him down with 10 seconds to go. Still, Brian Ortega could catch you in something inside seconds. It's just it's the way he is. He's just that dangerous down there. But it's a big contrast from the Jeremy Stephens fight to the Ortega fight, where he was predominantly on his back foot for the Stephens fight. Used his striking very well and just really frustrated Jeremy Stephens to win that one, and then comes out with super aggressive against Brian Ortega and landed a lot of heavy shots, heavy combinations, heavy body kicks, and then he mixed up a little bit with the takedown in the second round. I thought he was up 2 rounds. I wouldn't argue with anybody that thought maybe Ortega won one of those rounds. They were pretty close, but then that was just a bad idea what he did in that third round, and he lost the fight through that. I'm going to go with Renato Moicano. I think it's a close fight. I think he's the more well-rounded fighter personally. I think on the feet, I do give Calvin the advantage with just, I think, being a better striker, especially with the hands and the combinations and the precision and the accuracy, and just always having something out there touching another fighter, which is something I think is really underutilized in MMA pretty much. So, but I think where he wins his fights is by getting takedowns. Now, if Calvin stops takedowns, I think he wins the fight. I see Moicano getting at least one, maybe 2 takedowns in this fight, and that's enough. But I see it's a split decision. I am like 52% confident in Moicano to the 48 of Qatar, so I'm going to go Hinata Moicano via a split decision.
Okay, like it, I like it. So next up is the co-main event, the rematch. The champ, Rose Namajunas, facing Joanna Jędrzejczyk, who believes that Rose got lucky. You have to tell yourself that. You have to say this. They put it down to the weight cut. She couldn't fully recover. She wasn't 100%. Okay. I'm going to give my opinion of this. I think that Rose beat Joanna fair and square. And I understand that you need to maybe tell yourself something to maybe get over it. But I think if you just admit it, if Joanna just goes, do you know what? She knocked my ass out. Because I was not the better fighter on the day. She turned up and I didn't. There's nothing wrong with that. Joanna has turned up time and time again and whooped ass. That's fine. There's sometimes you don't turn up. And that was the day she didn't turn up, but Rose did. I don't want to say it's luck, it's just the way it happens. People peak just maybe a day early, a week after, or whatever it is. She didn't peak at the right time, and that's all that happened. Do I see this fight going differently? Yeah, I do. I don't think it'll be the same fight as it was last time. I think it'll go a bit longer. But I think that you might see Rose submit Joanna. I feel that you might see Rose take Joanna down. But the thing, I think what Joanna gets caught out with is that Rose would go for the scramble and get her back. And just jump on her back standing and just stand on her back. And Rose is a nightmare. She's an absolute nightmare scrambling. And I think Joanna hasn't got that. Joanna hasn't got that grappling scramble in her. It's just not what she's like. It's not her style. She's not used to being in there. Rose is, and I think this is what we'll see. I think we'll see Rose striking with Joanna, and I think she'll get in there close enough to get that scramble. And I think Rose will keep the belt. Sometimes there's one person that's your Achilles heel. I'm gonna go wild and go with Rose getting the win, and Joanna not. I love Joanna. Trust me, I ruddy love Joanna. But I got a feeling, I just don't know what it is. I just feel like Rose can get that defense and get that belt with a submission. It's a hard one, but yeah, go on. I'll go in that.
I'm seeing a lot of people thinking like myself that she's got Joanna's number, and it could be one of those cases where she is just going to be the girl that Joanna can't figure out, can't fight well against. Like I say, I don't think this is going to be anything like the first fight. I think that was a massive shock. The one thing I'm hating, and I've hated it for the last couple of weeks, is just Joanna talking about the weight cut. Loads of people have bad weight cuts, and the thing I always say is like Moicano and Ortega. Ortega had a really bad weight cut. He still went in there. He looked decent in the fight. So this using the weight cut and the people that surrounded her and blaming them, it's on yourself at the end of the day. You're the one that's stepping in there. So I'm going to go with Joanna to get a belt back. I think that, and kind of the way I'm seeing this is Rose is, I think, all around the better fighter. I think the better striker, the more world-class striker is Joanna once she gets a rhythm going. And that's where I'm kind of leaning with this, that she needs to get a rhythm going. And if she gets the confidence back that she had in previous fights, I think she can start, I think she can put it on Rose Namajunas a little bit, but she needs to mix it up with leg kicks. Something that Keisha Torres did well against Rose Namajunas was leg kicks and shoot for the outside, hit her with those, move, and then hit her with combinations so she comes forward again. The thing that's kind of scaring me is that I think Joanna's chin's been exposed, and I don't think she reacts well to taking shots. We've seen that, I think Carlina hit her with a big shot, Gadelia put her down with a jab, so she could be a little bit chinny. But what I'm kind of garnering my prediction on is her getting the confidence and just outstriking her and beating her over 5 rounds. And I don't know whether I'm being a little bit. I've never been the biggest Rose Namajunas fan, to be honest with you. I think she's talented. I think she's a good fighter, but I just think that, in my opinion, Joanna Jędrzejczyk is the better striker, and I think this fight is going to take place predominantly on the feet. Like you say, if the fight hits the ground, I think Joanna could be in a lot of trouble, a lot of trouble. But Rose obviously has striking skills because she knocked her out and made Joanna quit. Joanna tapped. So
she's got pop in her. She's got
pop. I'm not overly confident in the Joanna pick, but I am going to pick her. Just if I can see this being a stand-up fight, and I think she's just a better overall striker. But I think it's going to be a close fight. I'm going with Joanna to get her belt back.
And we've had 24 hours to not even 24 hours, I rephrase that, about to reanalyze and readjust our ideas on this next fight. Max Holloway, gangster, stepping up to fight Khabib for the 155 title. 6 days notice, Tony Ferguson injured, crazy, all bananas. Will, let's go with the new breakdown.
I was so gutted when that came through last night, because when I go back and watch fights, I maybe watch 3 fights, maybe a little bit more if I'm lucky. I literally went back and watched the whole backlog catalogue of Tony Ferguson's fights, the whole back catalogue of Khabib's fights. So I'm probably 25 to 30 fights deep into watching their fights. And I even wrote notes on certain things I wanted to talk about, and I never usually put my video out until a Monday, but I had time on Saturday night and I'd finished everything I wanted to do, and of course I bring out on Saturday. If I just left it to tonight, I would have had my video out, all that. And I spoke on my video, I literally spoke for 35 minutes about this one fight and different aspects. And then 24 hours later, less than 24 hours later, the fight gets called. I thought it was an April Fool's joke. Then when I seen big MMA journalists reporting it and big companies reporting it, I knew that the fight was off, and it was horrible. And then I saw that Max Holloway had stepped up on 6 days' notice to face for the full UFC lightweight championship against Khabib, and I was like, I thought this is total and utter bullshit on all parts here, because no way that's happening. For the simple fact that he was injured and he was scheduled to fight a month before, and he had to get pulled from that fight. A month later, he's fighting for the UFC lightweight belt, so Connor's belt's been pulled, rightly so. Tony's belt's been pulled. I think that's a little bit sore on him. But
but I think what will happen. But he's going to be out for like a year. Yeah,
he could be out for a while, so I don't know.
So it kind of makes sense, because you think, do you know what? Go out, go get it, recover. There's no point in... because if he's out for a year, there's no point in having an interim strap around someone when you've got a full-blown champ, is there?
Yeah. And then I instantly started thinking, who wins this fight? And I was like, full camp, I think Max could give him problems. And I still think he could give him problems. But the injury, the shape that he's in, 6 days notice against a guy who's been in camp and has been going for this fight for 2 months at least. It's just scary, but I think Max Holloway could have an opportunity. It's just, I'm trying to think, can he pull it off? And he can pull it off, but can I see him stopping Khabib taking him down? I don't. But when you look at and this is a bad fight to even talk about here, it's the Conor McGregor fight and Conor taking him down. That was years ago, and he's not been taken down since that fight. No. And I think it's like 30 odd attempts to take him down, he's not been taken down. But Khabib is a different beast altogether, and his pressure, his top control, his grappling it's incredible. That fight with Michael Johnson was one I always go back to. Oof. He was laying on top of, grabbing his right hand, and he constantly kept pulling it while he was punching with the left hand. And then he just kept, in the Barboza fight, he's just not letting him get anywhere. He's totally beating him, and Barboza, halfway through round 1, he's like, I can't beat this guy, and I can't stop the takedown. I thought Tony was there for the taking with takedowns. I think a full Max would be harder to take down, personally. On 6 days' notice, I think is a mammoth task for Max Holloway to come in here and win this fight. I would actually love to see him win the fight personally, because I think what a story that would be. He'd be the champ. He would rub a certain Irishman's nose in it. He could, but that sets up a fight with them two again, which would be a great fight now.
Yeah.
Conor got the best of him years ago, which he's a little bit of a different fighter than he was back then, and he's progressed so much. Yeah, I'm gonna go Khabib, and I think actually stops him. I think early on it could be a little bit close, but in rounds maybe 3. The thing is as well, Khabib's never been past 3 rounds.
No.
In the Tony fight, I think that was more of a big factor. Not so much for the simple reason that Max really hasn't been in camp for this fight. So even though he has a legendary gas tank himself and has went hard for 25 minutes in fights before, I'm going to pick Khabib. I think he gets takedowns. I think he controls them. And I think he can stop him. Especially, I don't know. It's just it's a one of these fights I'm scrambling to put together because it's so short notice. And I did watch a couple of fights, but you really have to go on what you've already seen.
Yeah. And
what I last seen was Khabib Nurmagomedov absolutely fucking demolishing a legit guy. So I'm going to pick Khabib. I'm going to pick him via TKO in the championship rounds.
That's the thing. Max is a big boy for 145, and 155 was always in the goal, always in the pipeline. It was something that was going to happen. But Khabib's a big 155er. And that's something you take into account. You think, if a big 155er wants to take you down, you're probably going to go down. There'll be a different size and strength into it. And I know Max will have trained a lot with guys like Yancy in Hawaii, who's a 170er and stuff like that. But it doesn't matter. Like, Khabib's just that next level of grappling that Max has never seen before. He's never had it. Like, Max has never had to face an absolute gorilla in Khabib. Max has got great striking, got good combinations, he's got good movement, he's got all that good stuff, mate. Oh, you're still there, Will?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, your camera's stopped. Go on, close your camera and put it back on again.
Oh, come on.
Your pictures froze. Freeze.
How do I do that again? How do I do that again? Camera. Oh.
Can you do it? You figured it out?
No.
It's very hard. There, that's it, yeah. So you've turned it off, good.
There we go.
We're back on, good, man. So yeah, I just feel that Khabib will get the takedown. There's no doubt about that. There's no question. There is nothing in my mind that Khabib will have no trouble getting the takedown. Max can pump punches out all day long, but the problem with Max is he does have pop in his punches, but he's a numbers guy. He will just outwear you. Like, he will punch you so many times, and he will match your punch, and you'll go punch for punch, but he'll just move out of the way, and then he'll pop, move out of the way, pop, and he'll just tally that out. But Khabib's not that kind of fighter. Khabib doesn't stand in front of guys to go one for one. Khabib comes at you, throws strikes to get you into this range, to get you down. Look at, like say, Barboza's the best example you can think. Barboza, elite striker. Everyone was wondering, going, can Khabib stop an absolute elite striker? Because I'm not being funny. You put Khabib, so you put Edson Barboza against Conor McGregor. I'll tell you what, you're gonna have a different kind of mindset towards Conor McGregor, because I think Barboza would have a fun time with him. Do you know what I mean? Like, those leg kicks would wreck Conor's day. Like, and you think Conor's spinning kicks and head kicks are nice? Good luck stopping Barboza's. But Barboza's like I say, like, Barboza's striking's kind of like Khabib's grappling. It's just like this next level. But Khabib didn't care. Took the kicks, took the punches, whatever it was, just kept coming forward. He's like, yeah, bitch, I will keep going. You don't hit hard enough. Max doesn't hit like that. So the problem is Max can't run backwards for 25 minutes to avoid the strikes, to avoid the takedowns. I just can't. I love Max. He's so awesome. He's such a cool guy. He's done so well to get that title. He's done rightfully so to be the champ. Conor will sit on his high chair, giving it all this when Max loses, and I'm like, dude, you won't fight Khabib. End of discussion. Like, and when you do, it'll be like a scene from the Avengers when Hulk got Loki and does that. That's what's going to happen, son. You need to face the reality that there's someone out there who's just going to toy with you, and that's what'll happen. But and I think Khabib's just going to go there, and that's what he's going to do to Max. I think he's just going to get him where he wants. And like you say, that Michael Johnson moment, Khabib wasn't even out of breath. He wasn't out of breath. He was talking to him normal, fluent words. He wasn't like, it's my title, I need that. He's just constantly, he's like, it's my title, give it to me, I want that title, I'd kill you, and you're just like, that is scary. And I think he'll do just anything. Khabib will do anything to anyone that he wants. He's got a nutritionist, he's got the conditioning, he's got his health. He's just a scary man to fight. He should have been at the title, should have had that 155 belt a couple of years ago, in my opinion, if it wasn't for all these injuries. And now I think it's rightfully so. He's going to get heir to the title. And I seriously mean, if Conor fights him in Russia, sorry Conor, you're going to get ragdolled. I said it a long time ago, and I still stand by it.
I think the fight I want to see, I would love Max to win, and then he has the belts, and then Conor has to come to Hawaii. They could do a stadium show in like a big football stadium in Hawaii, and it's so. Khabib wins. You've got Khabib versus Conor. If Conor wants that, which you'd have to think he probably, looking skill set wise, it's a bad matchup for him, especially because Max Holloway's an elite striker himself, and I think he's one of the best guys in the UFC for making adjustments on the fly. And once he's got you slowing down, he's not going to stop. He did it with Aldo.
He just keeps that tempo. He has a great tempo to keep going for full time.
Especially the second fight. The second fight, he destroyed Jose Aldo, and I just think if it was a full camp, I might be looking at it a little bit different. But on less than a week's notice, and against the guy you're going against, who literally stops what you're good at and just totally puts you in his world, you can't get out. No. Khabib has to be the pick for me here, but I think the betting lines are actually out in this, and they're a little bit off personally.
Yeah, Khabib's
I think it should be a little bit closer.
It's crazy.
Really high, but I can see why they've lined it that high. But the pick has to be Khabib Nurmagomedov here. Yeah,
I'd maybe put like something on Holloway just for kicks, like a small amount, because you'll get a lot back. But I'm with you. It's one of them ones where it's like. It's crazy, the betting odds. But let's go to the betting odds, Will, because that's what the next bit is going to be. So let's have a look here. You're a betting man with the fight card coming up, and what are you looking at? Who are you looking at? What are you thinking? These look good, because you've got, for example, at the moment, Khabib's on average, basically plus 500 on average around the betting lines, or around all the betting lines on average. No, minus 500, sorry, minus. Max Holloway's on average just around the 375. I'll say 375. About plus 375 is on average. Yeah. So you'd avoid them too.
Yeah, I would avoid them too. The only bet I would probably make in that fight is Khabib either by knockout, a TKO, and or submission possibly. That's the only things I would even look closely at in that fight. And I think it's the same with the Tony fight. I wasn't going to bet. I wanted to bet Khabib, because I was fairly confident he was going to win the fight, but I thought I'm sitting back and watching this as a fan, and it's pretty much the same here, because the line's inflated, there's no value there, and the fight, just a good fight to sit back and watch. Yeah. So
what bets would you look at then? What is there parlays? What would you look at here? But what kind of matchups?
Yeah, I've been a little bit slow on my bets. Considering we've been away, and most of the lines have been out for a while. I haven't made any bets. I'm coming off a tanking at London. I took Paul Craig, absolutely stole my money, run away with it, and from there it just went straight downhill. So I need to kind of bounce back after that night. The people I'm looking at Iaquinta. I think the odds are very close. I've got a slight lean for him, and Joanna is another one that I'm looking at. Who she's, I think over here in the UK, I saw she was minus 120 was the lowest I've seen.
Yeah, but she's on average about minus 120. Yeah, that's the average going across.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking at. The one parlay I'm looking at is Karolina Kowalkiewicz, and I think it's Ashley Evans Smith. And I think it's around plus money as well. So, but I still haven't committed to anything really. To be honest with you, I've not really looked too much into the betting side of things. But I might start doing that from Wednesday onwards, because everything's just been happening with this card and so on. But they're the kind of people I'm looking at, but I think they're tough bets to make, especially the Al, because we say it's going to be a close fight.
Yeah.
And we
Artem's plus 110. Artem Lobov.
That's a good. I think if you're betting underdogs or you're picking underdogs, it's good to throw a bit of money on it.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's a bad bet to make. It could be close.
Yeah.
I'd rather stay away, but like every fight's close in this card. It's one of these cards that Moicano Qatar is close, Joanna Rose could be close. Who else? Keza Pettis could be close. Iaquinta Felder. It's just close fights.
They're very close lines. Yeah.
It's a hard betting card. This one, you've got to pick your spots really well, not unless you're super confident in spots. Then you go for it. I'm kind of struggling a little bit, but I will probably make bets. I'm just not sure where I'm going to go yet.
Yeah, they are quite tight, the betting lines. There's not much in them in some of these fights. Like you say, the Joe Lozon one was, Joe Lozon's like a minus 100, then Chris is plus 100. Not a lot in it, but like you say, for your underdogs, it's something to look at, like a...
The one thing I have looked at, it's, what was the one I quite liked? It was Joe Lozon, the Lozon Grutzmacher under 2.5 rounds. For the simple reason that Lozon's going to come out hard in the first round, can stop you in the first round. Grutzmacher, once Lozon starts to fade, he could potentially get a finish, and that was plus money. I think it was plus 130, 140 in that region. So it's still good money, but it's just like this entire card, it's hard to pick your spots.
And what we'll do next, ladies and gents, is go into your questions. Like we say, quiet on social media in general, but we did get a response back from our boy Adam. Adam Sean is at AdamSean292. He comes back with a question. Thoughts on Bisping appearing on the Liverpool card? So it's not definitive yet, ladies and gentlemen. He's said, I'm good, I'm ready, Liverpool card. It's basically my back door to where I'm from, northeast, where I'm, it's as close as I can get to Manchester, because the UFC aren't going to make the effort probably go to Manchester just for Bisping for one fight. When they've got this momentum of Darren Till at Liverpool, it's probably a smarter move for them to do this, but it's a good reason for Bisping to get on there if he can, and I think the UFC should probably take full advantage of that, in my opinion. Will, what's your thoughts on Bisping going to potentially maybe be on the Liverpool card?
Before last week, I was like, nah, I don't think it's going to happen, and especially when they announced going to the co-main event, that could just be a smoke screen. That could easily be moved down to the third fight of that card. And then I heard Bisping come out and say all that stuff you say. He's from the northwest. He's close to his hometown, and I was thinking to myself, I'm sitting here, and I've been thinking, I think they might actually make a fight on that card for him. It would not surprise me if they threw him in there. I don't think he'd main event, obviously, but I think he'd be the co-main event. He could get his swan song in England, which he won't. I'm not going to fight again in England this year because they've already had two cards in the space of a couple months. So London would be the next one next year. If he wants to fight before March next year, you have to think he has. I think he might. I think honestly they might put him in that fight card. I think they can make a fight for him there. So yeah,
I'd like to see it. Yeah, I think for just for the sake that he can get rid of it, so to speak. Get rid of that question, get rid of that, get him in, get him out, retired, done.
It's a good spot to have your last fight in.
It's a good. I think it's a good spot. The atmosphere will be absolutely bananas.
I think it could bring a lot of the guys in, and obviously Till's one of these guys that the UFC are definitely trying to push. They put him in his hometown.
Yeah.
I think it's a good spot to put him in personally.
I think it is too. So next up we have here we go. You have alright, a tough one actually. You have one chance to impress an MMA virginity, so someone who's not been around the MMA scene. Which fight do you make them watch? Gosh, that is hard, isn't it? First fight.
Korean Zombie, Leonard Garcia, all day long. Vanderlei Silva, Chuck Liddell. Vanderlei Silva, Brian Stan. Those type of fights.
Vanderlei Silva, Brian Stan. I was thinking maybe Darren Elkins against, was it Dennis Bermudez?
Mirsad
Oh yeah, Mirsad Becic. That's it. There you go. I was thinking maybe that one. When just Chuck Liddell, or like someone like Randy Couture. Just someone you wouldn't, like some old ass dude beating the crap out of someone. There's something. You have to pick one fight. Gosh, that's hard, isn't it?
I would probably go for a virgin that's never seen MMA before. All action fight. I would go definitely Lena Garcia, Korean Zombie one. WEC days. Crazy fight.
Pat Barry, Czech Congo.
Yeah. Another good one.
That was.
I think change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
just flip of a dime. No 10 counts here, son. No 10 counts. Yeah. Gosh, that's a hard one. Wow. You could even go to Benson Henderson against Anthony Pettis. WEC.
WEC, that was like the first fight was a great fight over 5 rounds as well.
Especially
I was there for that one. I was in Arizona. That's when I was still in America at that point, and it wasn't far from my auntie's home where I was staying, and that was the last one. I was so happy to be there, and I seen that. I was like, holy shit! It was a great fight over the 5 rounds as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That'd be somewhere to watch, somewhere to do as well. But gosh, there's a lot of fights. Here we go. Next question, because I don't think there's really one. It's so hard to pick, isn't it? You'd be like, right, what's that one to start with? Yeah. Another 1,000 here lined up, but we're just going to break you in with one. Here we go. Okay, interesting. Will the UFC Liverpool atmosphere be better than Dublin circa Conor days, so to speak? Not the obviously Dublin card with Houlihan. Gosh, it's about the similar size stadium as well. So I think it's only about 1,000 difference.
Yeah.
A big factor is the acoustics in a building can make a huge factor on the sound. Like, look at Glasgow, the way that building, the arena is, the acoustics is phenomenal. Like, it literally get your hair standing on the back of your neck kind of thing. It's fantastic. So, will the Echo be able to recreate an atmosphere like Dublin? Now, they don't have Ole, 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 which is a very beautiful, written, thought-out song. But do you think that maybe the Scousers could have a similar effect?
I think they're going to be right there. I think it's going to be... When I heard that Till was main eventing that card, I thought, oh, that's going to be... I have to be there for that one, for the fact that the atmosphere is... I think it's going to be electric. He's coming to the cage, and during that fight, however long it lasts, if it goes long, if it goes short, I think it's going to be unbelievable. The one thing, like I said, we've said this before we come on, is we've got no other Scousers on the card, so that doesn't build anything, which really surprised me. So
you'd have undercard, prelims, middle. You'd have somewhere like stack it, start, middle, top, and that's all. You need two more. That's all you need.
Because like I say, that corner card when he fought Diego Brandao, that was lit from the first fight.
Yeah.
Paddy Houlihan was the first fight, and they won, and they kept on winning, and it just kept escalating, and then when it hit the main event, it was. I still think it's one of the most unbelievable fights I've ever been to. For that, the Glasgow ones are really good. The one in Vegas for Mendes and McGregor, I was there. That was crazy, back and forth. But I think Liverpool's going to be just as loud as what Dublin is, personally. I think they're going to blow the roof off that Echo Arena.
It's been so long as well.
And if he wins, Jesus, that place is going to be unreal. If he loses, I think there's going to be a lot of burnt cars in Liverpool that night. So we'll see.
Because you just think, you think about the atmosphere that Paddy Pimblett brought with when he was fighting up the 115, and the crowdy atmosphere, and it was a very smaller kind of crowd compared to what they're going to have there. You hope that they can bring that. I do feel there's a bit of bitterness in Paddy Pimblett, though, isn't there? Eh? He's a bit bitter about not being. Basically, he's not the face, so to speak. You know, Darren Tills came along and stolen the limelight of the Scouse kind of forefront of MMA.
I can see where he's pissed off a little bit, because I think, like, Cage Warriors has, I think it was maybe Molly that said they built the groundwork in Liverpool.
Yes.
The UFC really should have been in Liverpool years ago when Kerry Etten was there, Paul Sass, Paul Taylor, Paul Kelly, all those guys were there, and they never ever came. And then you've got a guy who's got a couple of fights in the UFC. Paddy's won fights, he's won titles. Molly's won titles in Liverpool.
Fish Gold as well.
Fishy as well. So, but yeah, Darren Till's obviously got. He reminds me of the Conor McGregor hype. He's got the city on his back, and he's going with it. Like Conor had a country pretty much on his back.
Yeah.
It's very, very similar to me.
Yeah, it is. I'm hoping that Paddy can get over that kind of bitterness about it. 'Cause I'm like, look, just get over it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
build a bridge, get over it, son. But that's the podcast this week. Thank you, everyone, for listening. As always, again, hit subscribe. Do follow us on social media. Hit us up. We'll be happy to talk with you. Again, Will, pleasure as always, my brother. And I'll obviously be speaking to you soon. Any last words?
Just enjoy the card. It's going to be a good card from start to bottom, from the top to bottom, I should say, this weekend. And then, like, next week, Gaethje against Poirier, Kevin Lee against Edson Barboza. So the next couple of weeks are ripe for great matches in the UFC. So just comment, subscribe, get your questions in. And we'll be back next week to break down UFC in Arizona. It's going to be a really great card. And as always, just thank you for the support. And by the way, we're going to be in Liverpool. So if there's some people there, I know there's some people that listen that are going to be there, but if you're someone that's never really been to a card or been to an event, we're going to be milling around from Wednesday, Thursday, right through till Monday. So if you're there, let us know. Come speak with us, come chat some MMA, because that's what we're probably going to be doing for 3 or 4 days at least. So come and join us down in Liverpool for that if you can get a ticket. Even if you can't, if you stay in Liverpool, come and speak fights with us.
There you go, done, just like that, brother. Easy, right?